Morning troops. This morning I'm in the ancient town of Maldon in Essex. Beautiful sunny morning, as you can see. Maldon can trace its name back to the Anglo-Saxon chronicles in the year 912, although it was an Anglo-Saxon settlement from around the 5th century. What's interesting about the town is there was quite a significant battle that took place here, made famous by a poem of the same name. So I thought I'd continue the hiking into history theme and go for a walk this morning and investigate where the battle took place. So let's go for a walk. In the year 991, during the reign of Ethelred the Unready, a Viking army between 2,000 and 4,000, led by a chap called Olaf Tryggvason. Please excuse my 10th century pronunciations, they may not be 100% accurate. Landed at Northey Island here in Maldon, and Northey Island is literally just behind me in the background there. And we'll see more of that in just a moment. Olaf Tryggvason, quite a warband leader, later to become King of Norway, had already raided many of the towns along the Essex coast. However, when he landed at Northey Island, he was met by an Anglo-Saxon force that formed up on the mainland. This was led by a chap called Earl Britnot, who was an ealdorman of Essex. I'm now stood on the causeway that leads off to Northey Island, and this is where the two armies would have literally faced off at each other across the River Blackwater. The Vikings demanded payment for the price of their withdrawal. This is met with scorn from the Anglo-Saxon army. The battle is delayed due to the rising tide. Much like today, you can't make your way across the causeway as the tide is too high. This led to the two sides shouting insults to each other from across the causeway. As the tide subsides, the Vikings request to be allowed across the river to fight the Saxons. Such is the confidence of victory by Earl Britnot. Rather than repel any attack across the causeway, he allows the Vikings to cross into open battle. There you can see Northey Island there in the distance across the River Blackwater, spanning across the mainland. There's the flat open fields where the battle took place. Now, though the Anglo-Saxons fought bravely, they were defeated when Britnot was killed. The poem states he was killed by a poisoned spear. Many of the English soldiers fought on to the death in honour of their lord. However, a small number did flee the battlefield. And it was said that anyone having an ancestor who survived the battle was a great source of shame. Although Earl Britnot was defeated, this was a man that was in his 60s, estimated to be around about 6'9" tall, which was pretty amazing for those times. And he was a veteran of many victories against the Vikings. And he was celebrated as a hero, fighting bravely to his death for the cause and freedom of his country. His remains lie to this day in Ely Cathedral in Cambridgeshire, and there are many reminders around Maldon of his heroism, and we'll look at those reminders a bit later on. So after the battle, the Vikings are victorious. The king's advisors now negotiate with the Viking leader, and the Vikings are paid £10,000 in weight of silver to withdraw their forces and leave the area in peace. £10,000 of silver in today's value is around £2 million sterling. It's quite a substantial amount of money. So I'm now at All Saints Church up the hill in Maldon town. Maldon actually comes from the old meaning of monument on the hill, or monument hill, so it's been a bit of a walk. 11.4 miles so far this morning. But what's interesting about this church, All Saints Church, as you can see there are a number of statues around the church there, and one of a little bit of interest, what we've been talking about this morning, is this chap here. So there is Earl Britnoff, standing tall and proud on All Saints Church there, amongst a few other figures as well. I'm just walking up to the final thing I want to look at today. It's a little bit breezy out here, so I apologise for any wind noise on the video. So I'm at the very end of the promenade now, and just behind me now, you can see there is another statue of Earl Britnoff. This statue was erected in 2006, so amazingly a statue erected in the 21st century for a 10th century hero. I'm sure we'd be glad to know that it hasn't been forgotten. You'll probably notice I'm on my own this weekend. Harry Verrett and Mike is off doing some horse whispering. Good luck to Isabel, who's competing this weekend. And that concludes my walk today, so just over 12.5 miles, probably about 13 miles by the time I get back to my transport to take me home. Thanks for watching, and thanks to Earl Britnoff and Olav Tryggvason. Thank you very much, guys, for the history. Cheers.